This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Thanks for joining us here at 11 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin. It's been several weeks since a Fishers church closed their doors due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But today, for the very first time, they are now open once again. RTV6's Troy Washington is finding out how the church plans to rebound and keep Hoosiers lifted during this time while still following guidelines to keep everyone safe.
I-Town Church is opening their sanctuary to those in need.
People who are physically strong are growing spiritually and emotionally sick. And I believe the solution to this problem is the physical gathering of the church.
Church leaders tell RTV6 the decision to hold service wasn't an easy one.
I agree that we need to follow the data. We need to listen to our doctors. We need to protect those in our community who are the most vulnerable. But I do not agree with our fundamental rights to worship being revoked. So on one hand, the church has been deemed essential, but on the other, we're not allowed to gather. There is no substitute for being in God's presence together.
For weeks, the church did services online to promote social distancing. They will continue virtual service as well as the additional in-person service.
We are adhering to far stricter guidelines than every other public place where you can still legally gather.
The church plans to allow only 10 people in at a time for services.
We are officially in a situation where your religious freedoms have been removed in the interest of public health.
The plan is to do 40-minute services every hour on the hour, however many days it takes until everyone who wants to worship gets the chance.
We're going to have a professional hospital cleaning company on site all throughout the day. They actually have a machine that kills all viruses on contact, and they'll be disinfecting the building between every single service.
Working for you in Fishers, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Troy, thank you. The church is advising anyone who is high risk for COVID-19 or feeling under the weather to stay home rather than attending a service. Today, we learned Indiana's death toll from COVID-19 is now 813. The number of confirmed cases in our state, more than 15,000. More than 81,000 people have been tested so far in Indiana. New at 11, the Indiana Department of Correction just reported its first loss of a correctional officer as a result of COVID-19. 67-year-old Officer Gary Winke worked at the Wabash Valley Correctional Facility. Officer Winke's last day on the job was March 29th. He had symptoms of the virus and later tested positive. A long-term care facility in Montgomery County has 14 confirmed cases of COVID-19. The county's health department was notified Saturday about the 14 cases at Ben-Hur Health and Rehabilitation in Crawfordsville. A total of 26 people were tested Friday after multiple people had fevers on Thursday. Residents who tested positive have now been put into isolation. Kroger is now taking additional steps to protect employees during the pandemic. They are now required to wear face masks. The new policy went into effect today. According to an email sent out to customers, the company will provide masks to employees unless they prefer to wear their own mask from home. Kroger says they are also working to supply face shields for employees who are unable to wear a mask for medical or other reasons. The email also is encouraging customers to wear a face mask while shopping, which has been recommended by the CDC to prevent the spread of the virus. The town of Avon is showing their support for frontline workers during the COVID-19 pandemic. Starting at 8:30 tonight, a light began shining towards the sky from the Avon Town Hall. Our photographer was there to capture the moment as the light was visible from about 3 miles away. We talked to the coordinator from Avon Parks about why they want to show their support.
We thought, how can the town really show their support? And we thought, let's go ahead and shine a bright light so all the frontline workers and all the community can see that we're a team, we're in this together.
This is all part of the town's week-long campaign. They are calling hashtag Show Your Support Week. Community members are encouraged to join in by lighting a candle or luminary outside of their homes to show support for frontline workers during the pandemic. RTV6 is committed to connecting Hoosiers with job opportunities and resources. It's an initiative we've been focusing on for more than a year now. But now with thousands of people filing for unemployment during the pandemic, our Hiring Hoosiers initiative is more important now than ever before. If you're looking for a job right now, the Indiana Department of Transportation is holding a virtual career fair. INDOT is looking to fill over 100 positions. It will take place on Microsoft Teams, a video conferencing app, from 10 to 11 a.m. this Thursday. The career fair will be a chance for people to learn about the different jobs available with INDOT.
Like any company, we're always looking for great people to join our team. We're excited about this opportunity. Obviously, everyone's had to think outside the box during this coronavirus situation. So we're hoping that this is a way to kind of bring people in and get them working for the state.
Some of the positions they are looking to fill include highway maintenance technicians, equipment mechanics, and construction project inspectors. Right now on our website, hiringhoosiers.com, we have details on how you can log on for the career fair. An update tonight, Home Services Unlimited has hired several employees after our story aired earlier this month. We checked back in tonight, and they do still need nurses and home health aides as they prepare to get more patients that are recovering or needing treatment for COVID-19 in their homes. They don't know how many patients they will get, but they need to be ready when that time comes. You can find details on how to apply at hiringhoosiers.com. That is where we have a job board up right now where you can connect with companies that are looking to hire. During the pandemic, a local restoration company is giving back to frontline workers. The owner of Restoration One, which is based out of Greenfield, says they started cleaning and disinfecting vehicles for deputies with the Hancock County Sheriff's Office this weekend. They plan to finish their entire fleet of cars this week. The owner says this is their way of saying thank you to those on the front lines, and now they want to expand their efforts to help out workers in other counties as well for free.
They're on scene first. They keep our streets safe. So we came up with a plan to, hey, let's go in, let's do this charity event for them, even for nurses, for doctors, fire departments, police officers. Let's go in, let's keep them safe.
The owner says during the pandemic, they have been busy cleaning local stores, hospitals, and small businesses. The extra business has now allowed them to hire people who have been laid off. They tell me they are still hiring for water damage techs and general cleaning staff. Tonight, a local organization that grants wishes to kids with life-threatening illnesses needs your help. In an effort to raise money, Indiana Children's Wish Fund launched a new virtual dance challenge called Wiggle for Wishes. All you have to do is go to indiewish.org, post your best dance moves, challenge 3 of your friends to do the same, and then make a donation. All of the money raised stays in Indiana as they help grant wishes to local children. During the pandemic, they have had to cancel Wish trips, but have still been able to grant virtual shopping sprees to Wish kids.
Their daily life is completely interrupted every day, not just now, but every day. They're going to Riley, they're going to Peyton Manning, and they're having treatments. And a wish is something that they look forward to. It gives them hope. It gives them happiness. It brings the family together at a time where things are just not normal.
Indiana Children's Wish Fund also had to postpone their largest annual fundraiser, the Republic Plain Poll that was scheduled for earlier this month, which that is why they are hoping for Wiggle for Wishes Dance Challenge will help bring in some money so they can keep granting wishes. Now to your Storm Team 6 forecast meteorologist Kyle Mounds standing by. Hi, Kyle.
And Nicole, yeah, those skies cleared out nicely this evening. And if you were outside a little after 10 o'clock tonight, hopefully you got to see something special in the sky. Thanks to Alicia Smith for sending in this photo. You see those areas of light I've circled. Those are actually the Starlink satellites, part of the SpaceX program. And those are going to be providing satellite internet across the country. So glad our skies cleared out nicely, and special treat to see that in the skies tonight. There are those clear skies, and temperatures already dropping off now. We're into the middle 40s in Crawfordsville and Greencastle, 49 in downtown. Winds are getting light, the skies are clear, and that means temperatures are going to be dropping into the 30s. Nicole, that's a recipe for some patchy frost going into tomorrow morning, but temperatures rebound quickly. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes.
Kyle, thank you. Coming up, much of the attention this weekend is on a handful of states that have opted to relax coronavirus restrictions amid and open some businesses. But other states say this battle is far from over.
Just call Summers. This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Tonight, 2 people are hospitalized after a fire at a Northwest Side apartment complex. Pike Township fire crews responded to Hewlett Drive, not far from 86th Street and Michigan Road. The fire was coming from a second-floor apartment building. One of the people taken to the hospital jumped from the second floor. Tonight, people who live in 4 different units that now have significant damage are displaced. A meeting tomorrow in Fishers will address concerns about 5G technology coming to one neighborhood. Call 6 Investigates. Kara Kenny is working for you to find out what is going on and what you can do.
People who live off of Lantern Road in Fishers are getting letters from the city saying that 5G technology will be going up in their neighborhood. Troy Hammond's letter says one will be put about 200 feet from his property. So that would go about here with his house, that yellow house down there. Troy Hammond lives in Sunblest Farms in Fishers. He's concerned about this letter he received saying a 5G structure will be going up right near his house. Call 6 Investigates spoke with several homeowners in Fishers who are concerned about the impact on property values as well as the health impacts of 5G technology.
As a homeowner, you start wondering how much real control you have over who can do things next to or under your land. I think the thing that bothered us the most from that letter was just it seemed like this will be done to you and you have little to no recourse.
The Citizens Action Coalition says legislation passed several years ago in Indiana gave wireless companies a lot of power to put 5G structures where they want. We asked Verizon for more information about their plans in Fishers and got this response. We are working with local officials to bring upgrades to wireless service that will benefit consumers, business, and first responders. A City of Fishers spokeswoman directed us to information on their website, including a map that shows orange dots, each one a proposed small cell node. The Fishers website also says the weight of scientific evidence has not linked exposure to radio frequency energy from mobile devices with any known health problems. The Board of Public Works will hold a meeting on the 5G technology at 4 p.m. on Monday. That meeting will be held virtually, and we have a link on how you can submit your comments online in this story on the RTV6 app and the IndyChannel.com. Reporting in Fishers, Kara Kenny, RTV6.
Kara, thank you. As some states have started to allow some businesses to reopen, there are growing calls for increased testing, which many believe is the key to reopening safely. Here's ABC's Andrew Dimber with the details.
As the pressure to reopen the country grows, many experts believe the key to doing so safely will be testing. New York's Governor Cuomo says his state is obsessively focused on testing and has announced plans to reopen in phases.
So nobody's giving anybody a date here. But short term, the numbers are on the decline. Everything we have done is working. The rates are all dropping.
FEMA now working with officials in New York City to test 120,000 city employees for coronavirus antibodies. Similar antibody tests underway in Los Angeles and in Boston. Diagnostic COVID-19 tests are also popping up all over the country, including this site in Iowa to test first responders. The COVID Tracking Project says Saturday, 300,000 COVID-19 tests were conducted, a U.S. one-day record, bringing the country's total above 5 million.
Labs are learning now how to bring all of those platforms up to hopefully double and increase our testing ability across the country.
Georgia has already begun allowing some businesses to start opening, including salons and gyms. Georgia, not alone. South Carolina and Oklahoma lifting their orders already, and starting Monday, some businesses will reopen in Arkansas, Colorado, Mississippi, and Montana. Tennessee's orders expire on Thursday, but the state is allowing some businesses to reopen Monday. Ohio and Texas lifting some restrictions on Thursday, but some governors are apprehensive.
I want to get our economy back opened just as soon as we can, but I want to do so in a safe way.
In Michigan, restrictions have been eased, allowing for some recreational activities.
We know that no one wants a second wave. It would be devastating for the health of our people and for our economy. And so we've got to be really smart as we re-engage.
Governor Whitmer has extended the state's stay-at-home order through May 15th. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, Washington.
Andrew, thank you. A few weeks ago, Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb extended our stay-at-home order until May 1st this Friday. No word yet on whether he will call for another extension before then. With millions of Americans working from home amid the COVID-19 pandemic, many wonder what the new normal will look like when they eventually get back to their office or place of business. In everything from large corporate offices to small retail shops, there are likely to be changes to how companies keep their employees and their customers safe. One business leader says this could result in a new term for the workplace, the 6 feet office.
Desks will be further apart. We'll see, hopefully, color coding on the floor as to where you walk and where you don't walk. We have to provide that safe 6 feet for every employee, not just when they're sitting at their desk, but when they're going to get a glass of water or they're walking around to the restroom and back.
Even as some states have begun allowing businesses to reopen, there have been changes such as taking temperatures and customers arriving and also wearing protective gear. Through the pandemic, we are highlighting the positive things happening in our communities, stories that show how people are working together. Today, a neighborhood prayer walk was held on the northeast side. It started at the location of the former Starbucks in Castleton on East 82nd Street. This is where a new drive-through food pantry will open in the coming weeks that will be operated by Faith, Hope, and a Love community. The goal is to deliver much-needed food in a safe manner during the pandemic.
We call this place as a place for receiving and a place for giving. That means that this food pantry is not just Faith, Hope, and Love food pantry. This food pantry is a food pantry by the community, for the community.
The drive-through food pantry will serve hundreds of families healthy food and hygiene products, but they need support to make this all possible. They are looking for tables, chairs, and floor mats. They also need a large or commercial refrigerator and 10 steel shelving units. To donate, we do have a link on the RTV6 app. Kyle.
And Nicole, you know, we started off with some rain, but it is all in how you finish. We finished beautifully today. Those temperatures made their way back into the 60s. As we look outside right now, we've got those clear skies. The winds, fortunately, are not as breezy as they've been throughout the day. Still out of that north direction, though, around 10 miles per hour, and that's bringing in some cooler air. 49 right now in downtown. It's going to be downright chilly, though, tomorrow morning. So as you step outside, you will need that jacket for sure. 36 degrees in Lafayette, 37 in Columbus, and 36 to start off your Monday in Richmond. Those temperatures, though, they're going to warm pretty quickly here as we've got a lot of sunshine to start off our Monday, and that wind turns out of the southwest. Won't be as breezy, though, as what we had today. Temperature 56 degrees at 11 a.m. We'll see those numbers jumping into the middle 60s Monday as the clouds increase throughout the afternoon. High temperature 64 in Logansport, 65 in Muncie. Numbers will be in the middle 60s near I-70, including Indianapolis at 66 for your afternoon high, and middle to upper 60s around Bedford and Seymour, feeling once again like spring as we go into the afternoon hours. Here's a look at TrueCast, 5 o'clock on Monday, and you see those clouds starting to roll in from the west, but notice by 10 o'clock in the evening, still the rain is holding off north of central Indiana. As we go through the overnight and into Tuesday morning, we will have a few scattered light rain showers. Don't think that's going to amount to a whole lot for us, and really not expecting any thunderstorm activity with that. Tuesday is actually going to be another very nice day. We'll have more clouds around, but temperatures will actually be warmer. We'll see those numbers already in the mid-60s at noon, getting into the lower 70s for the afternoon high. By Tuesday evening, that's when we're going to get in on another round of showers and thunderstorms. So it is a pretty active pattern here as we begin to round out the month of April. By 11 o'clock Tuesday night, those storms moving in, and some of those could produce some gusty winds. There is a marginal risk some of those storms in the western portion of the state could be strong. Of course, we'll watch that as we get a little bit closer. and we're going to continue with rain chances into Wednesday and Thursday. Models look at a few days out at this point, but we're still talking about a half to maybe 2 inches of rainfall across the area. So we may have some minor flooding issues, but it has been pretty dry here as of late. 7-day planning forecast, temperatures looking pretty good here through Wednesday. Briefly cooler on Thursday at 56, and right now next weekend, can't complain about those numbers. Highs are going to be in the 70s both Saturday and Sunday. Right now it looks like Saturday would be the better outdoor day, Nicole, as we've got some more scattered showers and thunderstorms in that Sunday forecast.
Kyle, thank you. Still to come on the news at 11, many parents are asking, where do we go from here? Up next, preparing for a new normal by helping kids transition out of isolation.
Help us feed our neighbors in need.
As isolation continues, some parents are wondering if there will be any negative long-term effects on their kids. Reporter Lindsay Bosch spoke with one child psychologist about what to look for as we come out of isolation and begin thinking about how to rebound into our new normal.
For many Americans, these past few weeks have been about balancing a lot in an unprecedented time.
Even just kind of the structure of our lives is completely different, and we've lost all of our usual supports and things that just help us function as families.
Psychologist Laura Anthony says this quarantine can have a big effect on kids, and a new emotion that your kids could be feeling is grief. They're not able to participate in sports, clubs, or outside of school activities.
That's a place where, you're having fun, you're with other people, you're learning a lot about yourself and about society, and we can't get that back.
But she says parents can help kids transition to a life that might look a little different than before the pandemic.
I think your first response as a parent is to kind of just check in with your kid. Is there anything you're worried about? Anything you've been thinking about? What's happening in your mind these days? So do those frequent kind of mental health check-ins with your kids.
She says look for behavior that is sustained. If anxiety or sadness gets so extreme that your kids really aren't functioning anymore, that's when it's time to reach out to a professional.
I expect we're going to have a lot of reaching out in the days to come when it feels like we're moving past the crisis stage and into this is just how it's going to be for a long time. I think that can be particularly hard on kids.
But there aren't just negative feelings. As we go through the pandemic, she says it's an opportunity to build resilience.
If you want to try to look at the brighter side, I don't think we're going to have a whole generation of kids who are permanently damaged. What I think we're going to have is a whole generation of kids who are really resilient.
I'm Lindsay Boach reporting.
There are a handful of restaurants in the area that opened just before the state stay-at-home orders went into effect. Certainly a difficult situation. One new restaurant in Carmel is using its local support to help others. Brad Brown shows us how.
The new kolache factory near 106th Street and Michigan Road opened on March 4th. Less than 2 weeks later, owner Lan Haywood had to make a quick pivot.
We don't get as much walk-in traffic with not as many people going to work. It's just not, the volume of business is just not there. So we've really been able to adapt and come together as a team, and it's really been good for us.
But his crew has made the adjustments to stay open. Customers continue to turn out for these pillowy soft buns filled with anything from breakfast to lunch to fruity sweets.
Kolache is a Czechoslovakian originated dish. The original kolache was just fruit.
One of those customers came from just up the road. Michael Dickerson works at Engage Financial Group. He's been gathering big lunch orders from coworkers and friends and supporting local restaurants.
They're trying to hold on to their employees as long as they can. And they need to pay their rent. They need to pay their utilities. They need business from people.
One day a couple weeks ago, Michael made a stop for kolaches, a lot of kolaches, and he left a very generous tip for Lan and his staff.
One, I like kolaches, but two, he had just opened, so if we could support him and keep him going.
It's a pretty big order and it's good for us, but we're also able to build relationships, especially now since we're new, so that's great.
Lan turned that tip into a gift card to pay it forward. This week, they donated several big boxes of baked goods to the staff and kids at the Indianapolis Children's Bureau.
We're really looking to partner and be a part of the community and support those people who are on the front lines doing the hardest part of this work.
A lot of the credit, goes right back to him. He's done a good job. Good business owner. He's just trying to support people.
A great example of opening wallets and opening hearts, working together in these tough times.
My main goal for this was to see if I get a couple of people doing the same thing. A few people do the same thing for different businesses. That can make a big difference.
I think that if we can weather this opportunity, then we'll definitely be poised for a good future here.
Working for you in Carmel, Brad Brown, RTV6.
Brad, thank you. There are 2 other local Kolache factory locations, 96th Street and Allisonville Road, also at 116th and Guilford and Carmel. Kyle.
A pretty nice start to our week here before things turned a little more active with rain and a few thunderstorms. Just briefly cooler on Thursday. But right now, as we look ahead toward next weekend, very spring-like for the first weekend of May. We're talking about high temperatures that are going to be in the 70s, Nicole.
Kyle, thank you. And thank you for joining us. Have a great night.